Kevin Ali. Tonight, I'm going to be engaged in a interview, a talk show with New Yorkers Perspective, NYP Talk, with brother Ron Brown out of New York City. Tonight, I'm going to be functioning in my capacity as a minister in the Nation of Islam, as a minister of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. If you would like to engage and see the entire broadcast from that perspective, I urge you to go to NYP Talk. Search NYP Talk on YouTube. Search NYP Talk on YouTube. You'll be able to see myself and brother Ron Brown out of New York City. But for those of you who just wanted to pop in and see what we're doing, tonight you won't see Joetta on camera right now. We will probably come on camera a little later. Right now, we are just waiting to be brought into the interview room. We are backstage on the interview room right now. And again, this is in my capacity as a minister of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But as you know, we've been talking about the technology patches, the body activation patches, the natural stem cell activation patches. This goes right in line with what we believe as ministers, as students, as followers, as teachers in the Nation of Islam and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We believe in a natural way and allowing the body to be able to repair itself naturally. So we're just waiting a few minutes for Brother Ron Brown to bring me in. Again, I urge you to subscribe to his channel. It is probably the foremost YouTube channel for conscious thought and discussion in the Black community. Groups that move the Black community, different schools of thought that move the Black community. It's a very peaceful and respectful discussion and dialogue that goes on, even though there are many people from from various schools of thought who do come on. One thing that we all do believe is that we need to do better as a people, and we need to work with each other to increase the love, to increase the peace, increase the hope, increase the health of our people. So we're just waiting a few more minutes till Brother Ron Brown brings me live. In the meantime, you should search for NYP Talk on YouTube so that you can engage and see the full conversation. You might be able to hear it through my phone speaker, but it might be a little muffled. Right now, I'm going to take this broadcast that I'm doing from my Facebook, excuse me, my YouTube, and I'm going to share this to Facebook. So bear with me 1 second. We will be getting started very, very shortly with Brother Ron Brown and the New Yorkers Perspective, NYP Talk. So bear with us a second. We are going live on NYP Talk with Brother Ron Brown. Just waiting a few minutes. Looks like it is 8 o'clock. Waiting for our brother to bring me into the main studio. I guess this is what you call the virtual electronic green room. And as you can see, we've got our poster in the back here about the natural body protection activation. It's science-based. It's patented. It's clinically approved form of phototherapy. It's non-invasive. It's drug-free. It's safe. You get benefits in studies. There's plenty of studies that are backing the scientific data up. You can reach us to get your own and find out more about it and get your own 30, 60, or 90-day supply. We even send you some samples if you want, but better to get a 30, 60, 90-day supply of your own at area code 218-673-1517. Area code 218-673-1517. You can also text us there to get your free sample. We need your full name, your email address, and your phone number and mailing address. It's simple. It's easy to use. For some people, it works in as little as a few minutes. They feel some results. Others, it takes a few days. Others, it takes a week or two. Everyone's body is different. We want you to develop your own testimony. It did wonders for my bad back that had from multiple rear-end car accidents. It did wonders for my knees, which were sore from years of playing basketball. Now my post-exercise, my exercise workout is absolutely phenomenal and through the roof. So we're just waiting again for our brother to bring us in to the main stage. Again, if you want to see the full conversation, search for NYP Talk, New Yorker's Perspective Talk Show, NYP Talk on YouTube, and you can actually see the full conversation and hear it much more clearly, where you'll be able to see myself and Brother Ron Brown actually dialoguing. It's about 1 minute after 8, 2 minutes after 8. I know he is finishing up another interview. The brother's busy. He's got my brother, Brother Minister Ahmed is probably finishing up right now with Brother Ron Brown, and he should be pulling us in a second. Don't worry, Joetta is still around. She's just not going on camera right now. We'll probably go on camera a little later, say hi to you after the interview, just to let you know what's going on, let you know what we're into, let you see us. You got a little different look tonight. I'm in a suit and a tie tonight. Again, go look for NYP Talk on YouTube and subscribe to Brother Ron Brown's channel, and you can see and engage. You can see both of us dialoguing. You can see anything that he might share on his screen during that dialogue. Let me see if I can contact him. We will be going live on a New Yorker's Perspective talk show. And he just texted me back. He just had a little delay. He probably was finishing up with Brother Minister Ahmed. He had an interview that went from 7 p.m. and then I'm right behind him. It is back-to-back representatives of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the theology of the Nation of Islam. So good. We're just waiting here a few minutes. Thank you for being patient with us. In the meantime, you can search for NYP Talk on YouTube. Search for NYP Talk on YouTube, and then you can log in and subscribe to Brother Ron's channel and get the full and hear the full dialogue. What we have in the background here, we got the flag of Islam. Probably because of the way the camera is to you, it looks like it's backwards, but it actually is not backwards. It is in the right orientation. This is not the flag of Turkey. This is the flag of the original Nation of Islam. The red background represents the sun, which represents freedom. The crescent moon, the star is the emblem of justice, and the crescent moon represents equality. That equals freedom, justice, and equality. That's what we receive. All righteous people receive under the light of the sun in the Nation of Islam, and all righteous people and believers in doing right. Red background, sun, freedom. Star, justice. Moon, equality. Why equality? Well, the moon equalizes the water on the planet Earth. Excuse me, my wife is dangling a glass of water in front, so I'm going to get that. Thank you, dear. She wasn't camera ready. But the moon equalizes the water on the planet Earth. The moon has a gravity, attracting power on the water of the earth. It actually pulls the water up in a large, enormous bulge. Now, you can't see this, but you can view the effects of it when you see the tides rise and fall. When the moon pulls the water up, the tide goes out. When the gravity of the moon goes to the other side of the earth and it lets the water drop back down, then the tide comes back in. It's called the diurnal tide. This happens twice per day. The star is the emblem of justice. There are actually billions and trillions of stars out there. Each star represents the rule of a particular man in a particular time frame of history. And it also means that we are justified in asking for a separate land or territory for those of us who have been brought into slavery, not because we hate anybody or dislike anybody, but because we believe we are a justified people and justified to take our place amongst a civilized society and countries and nations of the earth. And of course, the sun shines freely under all human beings, whether righteous or unrighteous. The righteous benefit from the sun, the unrighteous benefit from the sun. And the sun is the source of all of our life. That solar, electromagnetic solar radiation is what the plants convert via a process called photosynthesis. And they convert that photosynthesis into sugars and other nutrients in the plant and in the fruits. Then animals eat those fruits. Animals eat other animals. Animals eat fruits. Animals eat other animals. Then those animals decay. They go back into the soil. They fertilize the soil. And then plants come up out of that fertilized soil. And the cycle goes on and on. It is a complete life cycle. But the life cycle, the engine, the power plant for that cycle is actually the sun. So the sun, the moon, and the star. No one on this planet can function without those things: the sun, the moon, and the stars. The stars also are full of vitamins. They actually drop vitamins down, or they give rays off that cause the human being and animals to produce vitamins in their bodies, especially the sun. The sun actually, when that shines on us, it can actually help. Not actually, it does make the body produce vitamin D, and that is a natural process. Well, a gentleman by the name of David Schmidt looked at that process and figured out that there's a certain wavelength that the body will react to make the body produce its own intended repair system again. And that intended repair system is what is known as your stem cell. So give us a call, 218-673-1517. Uh, and you can get more information about this, get your own free sample. Better yet, purchase your own 30, 60, or 90-day sample. We got a great special, great deal going on. Company offers a money back, no questions asked guarantee, 90-day money back guarantee. We're just waiting a few minutes for Brother Ron Brown to bring us in. He had a slight delay. And again, you can reach us. You can also reach us at our email, joettabuford@gmail.com. JOETTABEAUFORD@gmail.com. So those numbers, you can call, text, email, get you a free sample, check them out, develop your own testimony. It's all natural. Nothing is soaking into your skin. Nothing is soaking into your bloodstream. There's no kind of chemicals, no kind of drugs, no kind of stimulants. Nothing is going into your body except natural reflected light. It is as natural as getting the light from the sun that is represented here in our flag. The red background, that represents the sun. It is as natural as receiving the benefits of sunshine. You don't have to ask your doctor if you can go outside and get some fresh air and sunshine, and can your body produce vitamin D, do you? No, of course not. It's all natural. Well, these patches are safer than going out in the sun. The sun has a lot of damaging rays. That's why a lot of people have to wear sunscreen to cut out those burning and cancer causing rays. This patch, this technology patch, all it does is reflect natural body light, the natural aura or light that the body gives off. You say, oh, my body doesn't give off light. Sure, it does. That heat is a form of light that human beings can't see, but that natural body heat is in the infrared spectrum. Your and my eyes can't see it, but if you had military night vision goggles, then you could see it. And it looks like we are about to get started. Again, look up NYP Talk Show on YouTube so that you can get in there with Brother Ron Brown.
I'm here.
He's here now.
What's going on? Oh man, your screen looks all clear.
It does?
Yeah, it looks professional, man. That's a good setup.
Well, my wife ordered some better lighting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she ordered some of that. She ordered some.
Go right into it now. You ready?
We're ready.
All right.
And ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to be talking about Masons, Shriners, and Greeks.
What's going on, everybody out there? It's Ron Brown, LMT, the People's Fitness Professional, aka Soul Brother #1, reporting for duty. We have the brother, Minister Kevin Ali, in the building. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for coming out this evening. I really appreciate your presence, brother.
Wa alaikum salam, brother.
How you feel?
I feel fine by the grace of Almighty God Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever, thanking him forever for his coming and for his raising up in our midst his last and greatest messenger, the most humble and honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Indeed. So now, today we're talking about fraternities, Freemasonry, and Shriners. I put it up there That way, just so you can cover all bases, whatever knowledge you have on these groups, or cultures, if you will.
Or what? Say that again. Or what? Groups or what?
Groups or
cultures. Cultures. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I thought you said vultures.
Oh no. So all right. So what's your background as far as college and fraternities and things like that?
Well, I attended the University of Virginia, and I actually pledged Kappa Alpha Psi in the spring of 1984. So I can come from this from a very, very unique perspective and offer some very unique insights to uh, both the aims and purposes of Greek fraternities, why they were founded, and also how that relates to what we were taught by Messenger Elijah Muhammad.
Okay, so what was your experience like being a part of these organizations?
Uh, it was mainly it was a way of socializing. The what we call the Black Greeks, the Divine Nine: Alpha Kappa Alpha, Zeta Phi Beta, Delta Sigma Theta, Sigma Gamma Rho, Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi, Alpha Phi Alpha, Omega Psi Phi, and Phi. Oh, Iota Phi Beta. Those Divine Nine, and I think I messed up the last one, but those Divine Nine are what they call the quote unquote Black Greeks. Some might also include Groove Psi Phi in there. Or not Groove Phi Groove. Those are the traditional Black fraternities and sororities, and their charters say they were established on more of a community service based uh, methodology rather than the social methodology that was used under the PWI, the predominantly white institution fraternities and sororities.
Okay.
And we did service projects. We did youth mentoring. We did cleanups. We did service projects in the university community, in the community at large in Charlottesville, Virginia. We did some Kappa youth mentoring, but there was also the service, the social aspect of the fraternity. It was a way to to represent your brotherhood, to represent your clique, if you will, but in a righteous way. Now, over the years, and it has degenerated in certain aspects uh, at times, and the Divine Nine have been doing their best or at what they could to stop some of the negative aspects of it, even suspending certain organizations off of campus because of alcohol related incidents, pledging or hazing related incidents, mainly hazing related incidents. But overall, I would say I had a good experience because I was always looking for something. I was always looking for that brotherhood. But more importantly, and I think this is a lot of people, I was looking for an answer. I didn't even know what the question was, but I knew I was looking for something to explain the world around me.
Right.
So that's what I went into it with. And I thought that maybe they would have some answer. And I really did not understand the answer until I met a minister of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So I don't want to be too long with that explanation of my background.
Okay, so when did you come in contact with the Nation of? So when did you join the Nation of Islam? That's a better question.
I came in contact. Well, the better question. I came in contact with the Nation of Islam in 1987 when I met Minister David Bacha, and we engaged in like a dialogue we're having right now. We would have this dialogue at least once a day, sometimes for hours. Now, I actually got registered on forms in the Nation of Islam in 1991, receiving my ex in Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay, and that was after joining a fraternity.
Yes, that was after. I pledged in the spring of 1984. I didn't meet Minister Bacha until 87, 88, and I didn't get on forms until April of 1991.
Okay, so once you joined the Nation of Islam, you decided to leave the fraternities alone, or did you maintain your relationship? What was the process? You know, what was the what were you thinking around that time? Like,
Well,
should I leave this, or is this good, or what?
well, like a lot of people, I meant, there's two camps in the fraternities and sororities once they get out of undergraduate. Either continue on in a graduate chapter, being a dues paying members in a graduate chapter, or not being one. I did not continue on being a dues paying member in a graduate chapter. I didn't go on to conclaves and you know regional meetings and anything like that in Kappa. That was a personal decision I made. Nothing. It wasn't good or bad. I didn't say, I'm throwing this away because of X. It's just something. It was just where I was at that time in my life. I decided not to pursue a graduate chapter experience.
Okay, now, Brother Ahmed, before this podcast, he said that uh, the sororities is basically they took some of the elements of Freemasonry and adopted it. Would you agree with that?
Well, yes. We have to go back. We have to go back to what the beginnings of Freemasonry and the shrine actually were. Freemasonry was established, the first official chapter was established of Freemasonry based on the four London Grand Lodges in about June of 1717. People will argue over the exact date. That's Freemasons. I'm going to assume that. I'm not sure if that was the Scottish Rite or the York Rite. The Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, known as the Shriners International today, that was established in 1872 in New York City by Walter M. Fleming and William Billy Florence. And the first official chapter of the Mecca Shriners was established in September of 26 of 1872 at the Knickerbocker Cottage. This was a higher degree of masonry. And instead of focusing on the ritual, the Shriners more focused on the fun, fraternal aspects of being a Mason. So in other words, these are very high Masons, they're 32nd and 33rd degree Masons. But what they wanted to do was they wanted to have more fun. And you see that today as a remnant of the shrine. They have a huge service project, the Shriners Hospital and the Shriners Burn Unit. So they're service to the community. And they also fund. You see them once a year, well, now more than once a year, but they will don the regalia and they will participate in parades and have, children's events. And so they're trying to have more fun. The other thing they did was they worked to develop their oratorical skills. So, in other words, they were practicing to learn diplomacy. Prior to this, the Caucasian people, they settled their differences by the sword, by the rock, by the spear, by the bolo. That's how so the Shriners wanted to smooth over that rough edge or that rough appearance of their ancestry because for 2,000 years, they've nearly extincted themselves in Europe, the Caucasian people. And even after we sent Musa to them in the caves and hillsides, they nearly extincted themselves again. And they had to have a renaissance or a reformation, which was brought on by the Moors invading and ruling Spain and Italy for 1,400 years, which spurned the Renaissance or the Reformation. And that Renaissance was the rebirth of a dying civilization, the European civilization. I know this is getting to be a long answer. The first fraternal organization was Phi Beta Kappa, which started out as an honorary society in America in PWI. Remember, we were slaves during this time. Phi Beta Kappa was an honorary society for those who had achieved academic excellence. Now, I didn't prepare all the other ones that came after that. I did a whole lecture on this. I think Phi Delta Nu or Delta Nu was the next one. And this went on and on and on until the first PWI to to the first Divine Nine, which was Alpha Phi Alpha, which is established in 1906 on the campus of Cornell University.
Okay. Check.
I have a question for you, being that.
Let me drop. You gotta drop a bomb. Yeah.
What would you say are the two most interesting lessons or questions and set of questions and answers for tonight's discussion from our supreme wisdom?
I mean, I would say who's the 10%?
Oh, you know what? I didn't even think of that one. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the only one that comes to mind.
Well, the two that came to mind for me was lesson number 1, question number 4. Why do we run Yakub and his made devil from the root of civilization into the caves and the hill?
Made devil from the root of civilization. Okay.
And number 9, why does Muhammad make the devil study from 35 to 50 years before he can call himself a Muslim son and wear the greatest and only universe flag of Islam? And he must add a sword on the upper part of the greatest universe flag of Islam. Right. I'm gonna try to put you on the spot, brother. But I know you down with them lessons.
Right. Indeed. But also, I was so okay. I got you. All right, I got where you're going. All right, cool. So now, I want to talk about recognition of structure and discipline. Groups like fraternities and Freemasonry are acknowledged for brotherhood structure, codes of conduct, ritual, and hierarchy. Okay, these elements are seen as tools that can build unity, order, and identity. All right, something the Nation of Islam also emphasizes internally. So would you say the Nation of Islam condemns joining fraternities?
That's a good question. Does it condemn it? Well, nobody has. My mentor, Minister David Bacha, whom the minister I met in '87, he was a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. He also was a Mason. So Messenger Muhammad very rarely outright condemns something. But when if somebody gives you something that says, look, the body of knowledge that you are now engaged in is supreme wisdom. There's no wisdom that surpasses it. It comes from Almighty God, Allah himself. You've got brotherhood in here. You've got training in here. You got how to eat, how to drink, how to exercise, how to fast. You got how to build a transportation system, how to build an economic system, how to build a school system, an educational system. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to say, you know what more are you going to learn somewhere else? So yeah, why would you go and join something else when you have supreme wisdom? But can I find anywhere where the messenger said, don't join it? No. He did say that I was once a Mason. Before he met Master Farad Muhammad, Messenger Elijah Muhammad was a Mason. Back in those days, to get manual labor jobs doing building or working on roads, you had to be a member of the craft to even get those kind of jobs. Manual labor jobs, bricklaying, masonry. I mean, they really did it back then in the early 1900s. So yeah, he was a Mason, and he said that the first 3 degrees of Masonry are the keys to your and my slavery. And you will find many Masonic scholars who are saying there really are only 3 degrees in Masonry, really only 3. Everything else is an honorary or a level of those 3 degrees, but there's really only 3 degrees of Masonry, a lot of Masonic scholars will say. So do we condemn it? No, but if I had done this in reverse, I wouldn't have joined a fraternity. That's me.
Right. And no disrespect to my Masons out there. However, I went through the lodge a little something, and I realized all I needed was 120 lessons. I didn't really need anything else. You know what I'm saying? All I needed 120 lessons, supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet. I feel like at the time, what's the point? You know, to memorize catechisms that, like, catechism that are not blatantly truthful. Like the first degree and the 1 to 10 is blatantly truthful. It's not beating around the bush. Who's the original man? And it gives you a straight answer. Right? So, you know, just to piggyback off of what you're saying.
And again, as we learned in our lessons, the Masonry was what we, the original man, gave to the Caucasian people so that they could clean themselves up and take their rightful place as the person who was supposed to rule for the upcoming 6,000 years. We don't love him as long, regardless of how long he studies. But it takes the Caucasian people, the Caucasian Masons, it takes them 35 to 50 years to go under this study. And each step, they have to pay money. So all the Black Masons and Shriners have done is duplicate what the Caucasians have done, and now they're paying money for it. Well, Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the sun, the moon, and the stars that they eventually are allowed to wear, you can have that for free. It's yours. It's yours by nature. It belongs to you. Matter of fact, not only does it belong to you, you created it. The Black man created the sun, the moon, and the stars. This flag is just a representation of what we created. We allow him to wear our holy flag of Islam once a year. And that's when you see the Masons and they don the regalia, the fez, with the star upturned, the crescent upturned over the star and a sword on the upper part of the holy greatest universal flag of Islam. This is to remind the Caucasian initiate that if they reveal the secrets of this, their head would be chopped off by the sword. Now, they actually did this to people. But what it really means is their head, their ability to rule would come to an end if they gave the secret of what is in the shrine. What is a shrine? A shrine is a place of honor and respect for some type of relic or artifact or something dead. Well, who is it that's dead? Well, in the Masonics, we learned that it is Hiram Abiff who is dead. He is the master builder who was hit in the head with a setting maul by three ruffians who wanted to steal his knowledge, steal his wisdom, steal the secrets for the Temple of King Solomon, which Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us is the blueprint for the kingdom of heaven on earth. So now he is dead. Now King Solomon says, "Well, no, he's not dead. He's just sleeping. Y'all don't know how to pull him out of the grave." Well, Master Solomon, we tried to pick him up, and the meat kept sliding off his bones. Right, brother. We couldn't pick him up. He was no, he's just dead. Y'all ain't got the right grip. Well, what's the right grip? Well, the right grip, Messenger Muhammad teaches us, is that Solomon in this ritual represents God the King, not just King Solomon, but God the King. And the right grip is the lion's paw grip. It's not the entered apprentice ain't going to work. The archmason, the master mason, that ain't going to work. It's got to be the lion's paw grip to grab him and lift him, that bone up out of the ground and stand him back up on the square. Now, when you go over to the shrine, that dead person that is worshipped in the shrine by the Caucasian Masons is the Black man. When they get there, they learn that the real name of God is Allah. They learn that the real greetings of peace are Assalamu alaikum. And when they get to the highest form of their shrine, the inner sanctorum, the sanctum sanctorum, they learn that the Black man is God. None of the Black Masons Shriners learn any of this. They learn some rituals.
Right. Now, the next one, there is a belief in NYP teaching is that some of the fraternity orders have roots in European system of power. These systems may not serve the liberation or evolution. Pardon me. These systems may not serve the liberation or elevation of Black people. So the concern becomes: are you being empowered or initiated into something that doesn't truly serve you? So that's the question.
Well, how do I answer this quickly? The pinnacle of society, according to the society that we live in, is Greco-Roman civilization. Their laws, their way of doing things, their senate, their way of governing, their way of leading and ruling. But you'll find that the rulers and the philosophers of Greco-Roman society, they studied in Egypt. They studied in Timbuktu. They studied in Mali and Songhai. And they took that information and used that information for themselves to raise their European society without giving the credit. So now ask me the question one more time. I want to make sure I'm sticking to what you're asking me.
So basically the concern, let's say from a Nation of Islam perspective, the concern is: are we being empowered or initiated into something that doesn't truly serve us?
You are being cut off from the root knowledge, and you are going to somebody who has given you some of the knowledge. So in the Greek letter organizations, both the white ones and the Black ones, they pay homage to Greek deities. They pay homage to deities like Athena, Zeus, Apollo. And if you look at their coat of arms, you can see these deities and these Greek-centered undertakings even in their coat of arms. Even in the ritual, the ritual is paying homage to Greek society. So is that empowering for us? Well, we're not Greeks. We're not Greeks. We're not Europeans. We are Africans. Now, the question should be is, why is this centered on Greece? I'm glad you asked that question. Where did we run Yaqub? And where did we allow Yaqub to go when it was discovered? Where?
To the caves of Europe.
No, before that, Yaqub. Where did we allow Yaqub to? He started preaching a new religion in the cities, on the streets of Mecca, preaching Islam on a luxury basis. He had filled up the entire jails. And finally, the king of Mecca came to Mr. Yaqub and said, and by the way, that Ben X docu-series makes a mockery. Yaqub didn't have a big head like a space alien. The messenger said he's called the big head Yaqub because he was smart. He had a lot of brain power. But the king went to Mr. Yaqub in the jail and said, look, we got to work out a deal. Your people are overwhelming society with this new teaching. What do you want? He said, let us go somewhere on our own. We need ships, we need supplies. And the king said, bet. And he let Yaqub and his 59,999 followers, Yaqub made 60,000, they let him go to the island of Pilan or Patmos. What country is Pilan and Patmos in? Greece. So now you have Greek fraternal orders in their ritual, Black ones and white ones. The Black ones have no idea why they do this. They just do it because, well, they copied the white ones. The white ones do it because they're in that ritual, they're remembering what happened to them. Like you said, later on, Yaqub, after 600 years of grafting the Caucasian, they came back to Arabia all white, again started causing trouble. The king said, oh, here they are. We knew they was coming back. We got to send them up into Europe. So we bound them up into the East Gate. We put a flaming sword at the East Gate to bind them up in Europe. EU means caves and hillside, and rope is the rope to bind in. We marched them across the desert from Mecca to Europe. It was 2,200 miles across those hot, burning sands. Guess what the white fraternities do in their ritual? They crossed the burning sands.
Oh, wow. Hold on.
The white fraternities in their rituals cross burning sands, just like the black ones. Why did the black ones cross burning sands? They had no idea. They're doing it because Boss crossed burning sands because the white ones did it. And they modeled their ritual somewhat after the rituals of the white PWI institutions. But the white ones are remembering a ritual because they don't ever want to forget. And they are explained what the meaning of that ritual is and what was done to them some 6,000 years ago.
Check. I just want to acknowledge uh, Awake One for the $5. Thank you, or the $4.99. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate you. Awake One. Been rocking with NYP Talk Show since the beginning. Think like a few episodes in or something like that. Been rocking with us for 2 years, bro. Peace to you. Yeah. So now I want to go into the next thing. Freemasonry uses heavy symbolism, compass square, which overlaps with ancient teachings. From an NOI viewpoint, these symbols may be borrowed or distorted from original African knowledge. Without proper understanding, members may participate without grasping a deeper meaning. So, how do you see that?
Well, again, as you see in the public symbology of Masons, you see the compass and you see the square. These are two of the working tools of a Mason, of someone who is a builder, making buildings, making roads. And depending on the degree or the working order that the lodge is in, that those points will be placed in various configurations under and over the square. Now, I used to know all the ritual. I mean, anybody can order a Duncan's ritual off of
Yeah.
eBay or off of Amazon, where they talk about this and they talk about the different rituals. They talk about the different positions. They talk about the different handshakes and the different grips. Uh, all of it is just noise. Remember, the real goal is they're hiding a secret. And the Bible says, what man having light would hide it under a bushel basket? So all this noise of all these rituals and all this stuff they got to go through, the Caucasian Masons and Shriners are qualifying themselves for positions awaiting them. What positions are awaiting them? The positions that are awaiting them that they're qualifying for is rulership. They are to be the future presidents, the future kings, the future emirs, the future royal families. This is what they're qualifying us for. So I have not so much got bogged down in the details of each individual degree. And you'll notice the messenger throughout his teaching, he never really got bogged down in that. They are qualifying themselves. That's why most of the major, not major, but most of the presidents and the major political leaders in America, they are high degree Masons and usually Shriners, all except for one or two. This current president is not a initiated man, not a man of the craft. He's not a Mason or a Shriner. And it shows because he does not have that polish. So whereas the other ones did the same amount of killing and bombing, they said it so nice and said it in such a way that the world accepted it. But this one says stuff like, we're going to wipe out your civilization. Well, that's because he hasn't been initiated in the craft. He doesn't. His rough edges have not been polished in the higher degrees of masonry and the shrine.
Right. Now we have a question in the chat. What is Kevin Ali's knowledge and view of the Boule?
Well, I mean, Brother Minister Ahmed has been covering that very well and very thoroughly. But it basically, the Boule was a outgrowth of the of the Niagara Society that was started by W.E.B. Du Bois or W.E.B. Du Bois, and that was the quote unquote talented 10th. the so-called Negroes who were acceptable and who wanted to get along with white folks, and they wanted to set up a buttress against the go back to the earth and do for the self message of Marcus Garvey and of Tuskegee University. Why's his name slipping my mind?
Tuskegee. You said Tuskegee.
Oh God, not George Washington Carver. I'm having a senior moment, but there was what's his name? I can see his face, but I can't think of his name right now. Help me out, audience. Anyway, he said to go back to the earth, go back to farming, whereas these talented 10th Boule Negroes, huh?
Booker T. Washington.
Booker T. Washington. They wanted this Boule Society, W.E.B. Du Bois, the Niagara Society, to be a buttress against, that's the last thing Negroes wanted to do was go back to the farm. But that's the most important thing that a nation has to do is to be able to feed and its nation so it can grow. And that's what Booker T. Washington was saying. So yeah, the Boule was set up. Again, Pharaoh feared the multiplication of the children of Israel. So they said, well, Pharaoh, these people they're murmuring. What do we tell them? He said, look, promise them nearness to me. And that's what the Pharaoh, the president, the white rulership, promised nearness to them, to the Boule. Hope that wasn't too long.
All right. Are fraternities and Masonic orders empowering Black men or keeping them in controlled systems?
In a way, they're empowering, but it only provides so much empowerment. True empowerment comes from recognizing your own divinity as a Black man, that we, in fact, are a nation. This is the secret that every Black Mason, every Black Shriner, every Black fraternity is looking for. It is this right here, the sun, the moon, and the stars, which signifies that we are an independent nation and should take our place amongst the independent nations of the earth. So it is empowering in a way if you want to integrate into this society, but it is purposefully disempowering to get you away from thinking of being an independent nation. And if you don't believe that these fraternities practice Islam in secret, I'm going to share with you an experience that happened this weekend. Now, for years, I've been saying from the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that they practice Islam in secret, fraternities, Masons, and Shriners. I never had any proof of it until this weekend. We went to Indiana. Long story short, we were checking out at a convenience store. I was checking out from the convenience store. And when I put my card in there, he saw this ring. And it was a young Caucasian man. He probably was in his late 20s, maybe early 30s. And he said, are you Kappa Sig? And I said, no. He said, do you know what Kappa Sig is? And my first inclination was to say, yeah, devil, I know what Kappa Sig is. Who do you think you're talking to? But I tempered that. I said, yeah, I'm very familiar with Kappa Sig, Kappa Sigma, Kappa Alpha, Teak, Sigma Nu. Those are the largest white fraternities on the campus of University of Virginia. I'm very familiar with that. He said, well, I was just wondering because our symbol is the star and crescent. Now, I never knew this before, brother. Listen to this. Their symbol is the star and crescent. Listen to what it says in there, and this is public. This is not anything private. I got this off of Google because I immediately Googled it when I left there. He says that, bear with me 1 second. Some of the core ideals of Kappa Sigma. A man worthy of the star and crescent is described as a gentleman and a man of honor and courage, a man of zeal, yet humble, an intelligent man of truth, one who tempers action with wisdom. The symbol is also used in the name of the Star and Crescent Foundation, which supports scholarships and philanthropic efforts. The creed, the Star and Crescent, is the title of the fraternity's official creed, a guiding set of principles that members are taught to live by, emphasizing character and integrity. This is Kappa Sigma fraternity, and there's their symbol. If you can't see it, there's a crescent over that star.
Yes, yeah.
And as I'm walking out, me and another brother, I turn my back and I'm walking out of the convenience store, and he says, "Assalamu alaikum." Brother, we were in the caves and hillsides of Kentucky and Tennessee when this took place. And he gave that greeting. He said it in a way not like he was his first time saying it. He didn't say it with no twang, no accent. He said it like it should be said. And I returned the greetings. First, I stopped and stunned, and I returned the greetings of Wa alaikum salam. See, Kappa Sigma practices Islam in secret and openly. The Masons and the Shriners practice Islam in secret and openly, but they'll never tell you. They told me because they saw a civilized man. We were in Class A. He knew exactly who I was. It was four of us. It was me, Minister Eric Muhammad, Brother Gerard, and Brother Shaheed. And we jumped. So I know what he went and did. I know he got on, just like I went and Googled him. I know he got on the phone with his brothers. I saw them. Now I have no proof of this. Saw who? I saw the ones who you talk about who wear this by nature but will not accept it unless we tell them that it is theirs by nature. I saw the ones that the old man Elijah taught. That's what I believe he did once we left. This was in the caves and hillsides of Kentucky and Tennessee, brother. So Allah gives you little incidents like this to let you know that, yeah, you on the right path. They practice Islam in secret, but they'll never tell us. They'll never tell Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi, Alpha Kappa Alpha, Phi Beta Sigma. They'll never tell them that they're practicing Islam in secret. They'll let them go on doing their step shows, doing their hazing, getting banned off of campus, but they'll never say that you should be with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Muslims. They'll never say that to them. And that in and of itself is a hindrance, a boundary, if you will, in my humble opinion.
Right, brother. Series Black, the Dwarf Star. You don't need it. No, you don't need it. From my perspective, you don't need it. You know, and like I said early on, I went into masonry and realized 120 is all I really need. Now, I want to go into the next one. Let me see. Let me see. Can fraternities actually be tools though, for economic growth and networking in the community?
Can they be? They could. They should. Fraternities and sororities represent the highest level of talent and brain power in our communities. These are people who have have undergraduate degrees, people who have masters, doctorates. You would think that someone along the way would say, you know what, we need to establish some things. We have conventions every year, the Divine Nine. Why can't the fraternities and sororities, all the Divine Nine, pool their money, pool their resources, leverage that money and that resource to build a think tank, an escape resort, where each fraternity and sorority would alternate having their national convention at that resort that was owned by all the Divine Nine equally. So we could stop dumping all those millions of dollars into the Hilton, into the Hyatt, into these convention centers, and then we can keep that for ourselves. Now we start building that money. Now we start thinking along the lines of doing for self. Now that could be leveraged into farmland, leveraged into clothing factories, leveraged into something for our people. But again, these organizations are not thinking that way. They are thinking, even though they're Black Greeks, they are thinking, how do we better integrate into Caucasian society? How do we better integrate into America? I'm sorry, that's what they're thinking. And I'm not trying to beat up on the frats. That's what the overwhelming majority of our people are thinking. How do we better integrate into this particular society?
Right. And Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught Separatism.
He taught separate nation.
Separate nation.
Separate nation.
Not separatism.
Not yeah, we don't want to be separate in America. We had that. It's called slavery. We want our own land, our own nation. Maybe a couple of these states in America that are fertile and minerally rich, either here or elsewhere, with access to a waterway to the sea, so that we can then engage in trade and commerce with other civilized nations. And the American government should provide our needs for 20 to 25 years. And if after 20 to 25 years of sustaining us, and they already they did this when they rebuilt Japan, they did this when they rebuilt Germany, they did this when they're going to do this when they rebuilt Iraq, when they rebuilt Afghanistan, when they rebuilt Iran. They're going to pour all this money in. We're saying, hey, what about the black man of America? And if we can't go for ourselves after you help us, like you helping everybody else for 20 to 25 years, then load up all your bombs, all your planes, and fly over us and kill us all because we don't deserve to live no more. That's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. Then you'll be justified. But don't keep us here and keep us as a subjugated second-class member of society. But again, I'm not beating up on the fraternities and sororities for that. That is just the general thinking of the black man in America, that if we can just get along in America, everything will be great. No, you and I have the capacity to run our own nation. We are a nation trapped within a nation. 17 to 50 million.
I would say the issue is, our basis of communication, like the way we communicate with each other, and the things that we believe in. Like I would say that our character, cultural belief systems are all split. It's split in too many different directions. And I notice like people who are like Arab, or Chinese, or even some Latin countries, what keeps them together is their religion. They're not really split culturally like that.
Here's a perfect example. Today, my wife and I, we shop at an Indian-run grocery store here in Charlotte. I'm not going to say the name of it. Well, that Indian-run grocery store, every time I go in there, almost a tear comes in my eyes, because it makes me think of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad established with your supermarket in Chicago. And there are other, it's mainly an Indian clientele, but I see white people shopping there, I see black people shopping in there, and the food is much healthier in there. It's a lot of the food from overseas, not this poisoned, chemicalized mess that these 5 Conagras and all these other large manufacturers. That is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wanted for us, and he showed us the example of it. That your supermarket was supposed to be duplicated in every city in America, along with the Salam restaurant, along with your dress shop. But some other people said, Wallace D. Mohammed and his chief international representative said, well, we don't need that. America has grocery stores. Well, why do the Indian people have their own grocery store here in Charlotte? And they patronize it. And it is a superior product that they have in there, much healthier than what you see in the traditional grocery stores of America. That was just an example that I thought of. If they can do it, we can do it.
Right, but like as I said, the Indians aren't split. Like they focus. Like their culture is centered, focused. You know what I mean? And our nation of people, we got the Nation of Islam, we got the 5% Nation, we got these different nations, we got regular like Christians, and all of these different, culture, religions, and I think that's one of the reasons we are split and can't come together, to make these things happen.
Well, let's say there are 80 million black people in America. We don't need 80 million black people in 100% agreement. Remember, there was a population in Mecca during the time of Yaqub. The present people who you see ruling right now started out with just 59,960,000 people. That's it. That's all they started out with. And now look at them now. So it don't take 80 million or 20 million or 17 million of us. The messenger said that it is 144,000 who would be cubed and cube off a nation. So those who don't want to come into their own nation, okay, you could stay with these people here. And these people here, the first thing they're going to ask Allah is, well, what can I do with these people that don't want to go with their own? Oh, them? You can do whatever you want to them. And there's going to come a time where we have to make that choice. And Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us that those who don't want to go with their own, regardless of what your religion is, you don't have to go, no force. But if you stay, you will go, they will put you back into slavery again. You will see their real nature once Allah gives them the okay to take their wrath out on you. And they're not going to be real happy coming off of all these wars that they're going to be embarrassed under. So if you want to stay around with them, good luck with that. But just like Yaqub and his followers, all he found was 60,000 people who were in agreement out of millions of Meccans, or however many people populated Mecca at that time. So it doesn't take a whole lot to begin a movement like that.
Right. Shams said, "Now, Cypher God, they have a back." You're talking about the Indians? No, I mean, well, we were just talking as far as what I was saying. I'm not talking only about the Indians. I'm talking about Chinese and different people who seem to be able to work together and build, enterprise. I'm saying with us, it's hard for us to do that because we're so split in many different directions. Even if when you say NOI, who's the NOI? You get what I'm saying? There's different factions. If we go into the 5% nation, there's only one 5% nation. However, some say 5% nation. Some say I'm not the nation of gods and herbs, and then there's that back and forth with that. So there's, a lot of separation in our communities, and I think that prevents us from doing something bigger, more powerful and successful.
Well, he put that division in us on purpose. And then he gave us 18,000 million different choices of what to choose other than the right thing. So when you give people a whole lot of choices, it's like when you ever see people go to a fast food restaurant. It's like, what do you want? I don't. It's like you've been in McDonald's and Burger King all your life, and now you don't. Because there's so many choices. Again, those other nations that you mentioned, they are more homogeneous and they're more focused on what they want as a people and what they have been taught as a people. We've been taught so many different things that we're not sure what to believe or what to follow.
Right.
Now, I will tell you this. We have written President Trump. And when I say we, Minister Eric Muhammad wrote President Trump and again offered him the solution of the Messengers program for the solution of the so-called American Negroes. So we presented the Muslim program to him once again. We're going to write him again in this term. We did it in this previous term. We're going to write him again. And again, the messenger said, put the Muslim program before Congress. He didn't say put it before the United Nations. He said put it before Congress. Why? Because Congress has the ability to write law. Congress also has the ability, or has the nation's purse string. They have the ability to appropriate, or in most of the cases, misappropriate funds. And that's how these other nations were built and rebuilt. Every Jewish person did not go to Israel. Think over that. Only a few went. But now the Jewish people all over the earth have a beacon to look at, which they call their homeland. And you see, I'm putting that in huge air quotes because all of that belongs to the original black man. And it doesn't belong to you.
Right. I just would like to say to the chat, thank you guys for Send in your gold, as we say in the 5% Nation. Send in your gold. Thank you for the power cipher, and then the cipher born for those who sent all that. Oh yeah, and we got man, yeah, hitting us up on the chat now. Thank you, brothers. I really appreciate you. So we gotta beware of your own brothers and sisters wearing turbans and fezzes because they will put you back into slavery. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Remember that. That's the quote from, I think, No Jolly. Brother Minister Eric okay. I'm having a senior moment. Brother Minister Kevin Ali is correct. I used to have white shriners stop me on the corner to buy the Salam newspaper. All right, all right.
Yes, when they see us, they recognize us. I remember several years ago, my daughter is in the band. They had a competition, and my daughter said, "Wow, that looks like a temple." It was a Shriners building. It was a Shriners temple. And in that crowd of black people who were in this rented facility, I saw one white face. I told my wife, I said, there's the Shriner right there. And I went over to him and I gave him the grip of an entered apprentice. And I said, we had some little small talk. And I said, looks like it's about time, doesn't it? He said, yeah, it's getting to be that time. What time? The time of the fall of America. The time when the messenger teaches us that the white Masons and Shriners would reach out to us and assist us. Now, I don't know any more details than that, brother. He just said they would help us one day. And I said to him, it looks like it's time. He said, yeah, it's getting to be that, it's getting close.
Okay. So basically the gist of what you're saying is that masonry, fraternities, Shriners, etc., it's all Islam secretly.
It's all Islam secretly. They sell it, they merchandise off of it. The white ones use it to improve their geopolitical, sociological, and economic position. But it is all Islam in secret. And I'm not sure how much more time we had. I wanted this for the benefit of every Black Divine Nine member. I'm going to read this because I don't want to mess it up by memorization. Every Black Divine Nine member who says, these are my sands. A sand is somebody who you cross the burning sands with. You have no idea why you crossed the burning sands. I have asked every one of the people I was close to in my fraternity, why do you cross the burning sands? And none of them could give any answer. The closest decent answer they can give was that it's to symbolize some type of struggle. Okay, well, here's what Messenger Elijah Muhammad says about crossing the burning sands. Why did we run Yaqub and his maid devil from the root of civilization over the hot desert into the caves of West Asia, as we now call it Europe? What is the meaning of EU and rope? How long ago? What did the devil bring with him? What kind of life did he live? And how long before Musa came to teach the devil of the forgotten tricknology? Because he had started causing trouble amongst the righteous people, telling lies. They accused the righteous people, causing them to fight and kill one another. Yaqub, Jacob of the Bible, was an original black man, and he is the father of the devil. He taught the devils to do this devilishment. The root of civilization is in the Arabian desert. That's why you cross the burning sands. And you go into Greekdom because the burning sands that were crossed by the Caucasian devils, that burning sands represented death for them and a struggle for them that they're remembering. And they were bound up in Europe again because that's where they came from after their genesis. They came from Greece, they were shoved back up into Europe. A flaming sword was placed at the east gate, which is the flag of Turkey or the country of Turkey. Who are the Turks? The Turks are Caucasian Muslims who believe in Islam. And they were put there because Yaqub was the founder of Unlike Attract and Like Repel. So as those devils came down out of the caves again, the first people they would run into are people who look just like them, and they would go back up into the caves, and the devils would repel them into the caves again. That is supreme wisdom. That is what your ritual is ritualizing. But of course, you don't know it, but the white man does, especially the Mason, especially the Shriner. And as we know now, especially the members of Kappa Sigma fraternity know this, but you don't. All praises are due to Allah for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
All right. Now, before we go, I'm putting this out there. I'm not putting you guys on the spot, but I would like to see a podcast with you and the brother Ahmed.
Sure, anytime.
Yeah, that'll be. What y'all think in the chat, brother Kevin Ali and Ahmed on Freemasonry, the Boule, Nation of Islam. That'll be something else. That'll be something to watch right there, y'all.
Well, I viewed part one. I viewed his part one. He did part two tonight of the Boule.
What you say?
I viewed part one the other day. He did part two of the Boule tonight.
Part two, yeah.
I'll have to watch that as soon as we get off.
Oh yeah, don't forget Melchizedek. I'm gonna be honest with you, Melchizedek is tough. He's tough, man. To talk, like, I gotta go see him in person because on the phone, he's tough to talk to on the phone. So before we go, is there any last word you would like to share and let people know where to find you?
Well, they can find me across any of my social medias. Kevin Ali. I'm on YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and I would just like to say that I appreciate your discussions, Brother Ron, the guests you bring on, and I appreciate the ability to have righteous dialogue and righteous disagreement. We're not going to always see everything eye to eye. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the holy scientists of Islam, they argue over one word they argue over. So an argument is not a bad thing until it gets ugly. So I am looking to have a discussion with a minister of Minister Louis Farrakhan to prove that what they teach comes from the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I would like to have that discussion at some point in the near future. But yeah, I'd love to talk with Brother Ahmed. I mean, you have some great brothers on here, great sisters on here, and a great program. And again, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to share with you what I have learned from this great man of God, the humble and honorable Elijah Muhammad, messenger of Allah.
Indeed. On that note, thank you guys for coming out this evening. I really appreciate you. I will see you guys Sunday and next week, man. So don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks to everyone who contributed to the super chat. That's going to really help this channel grow. Remember, we're not only a channel, we're an actual podcast. So we're on Spotify and all that stuff. So, somebody said, yeah, I see it, brother. I see it. I saw that already. The Secret of Freemasonry by Elijah Muhammad. Yeah. So, on that note, thank you for coming out this evening. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're everywhere where podcasting is. This is a podcast, not a YouTube page. Help us grow the brand. We're trying to keep it in. We're trying to do half studio and half stream. Half studio and half stream, So that's the goal. That's the goal, but, we got to pay for it. Anyway, we're out of here. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. All right, everybody, that stream is over. Make sure you like and subscribe to NYP Talk. Who is this here? Malik. I live in Kansas City by way of Scotch Plains, New Jersey. I'm from Orange, New Jersey. How do I reach out to the minister? You can reach me at area code, if it's business related, area code 218-673-1517, area code 218-673-1517. If you are interested in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and my capacity as a minister of his, area code 704-277-80 26. Again, thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you go to NYP Talks website, like and subscribe to that website. And we might be back in a little bit.